Let's take you live now to Rafah and speak to James Elder, who is the spokesperson for the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. Thanks so much, James, for joining us. Just tell us, what do you think these tactical pauses announced by Israel will mean in practice for the people of Gaza, especially the children there in Rafah, where you are? And of course, today, such an important day for children, the first day of Eid, normally such a special day.
Yes, spot on, Maria. Look, I think any pause in fighting, in bombardments, is great news for children. Absolutely. It has been utterly relentless, not just in the last few days. And I cannot imagine how children where I am in this Rafah area could possibly sleep. The bombardments are so severe, so loud. That's me in a building, in a tent. A child has no chance beyond, of course, the fact that it's furiously hot in these tents because families, of course, have lost all their homes. So anything that gives a child a moment of relief and allows a parent to have hours with their child where they know they won't be bombed is good news. Now, of course, when it comes to aid, yes, we need it to be facilitated much more. We need to get much more in, and it needs to be able to be distributed on the ground. So getting aid in is important, but also that enabling environment, a safe environment. We know that we've seen more United Nations colleagues killed in this war than any before, Maria. So, yes, and today, of course, today, Eid Mubarak, yes, as so many families explain, it's about the food, it's about buying new clothes. That's what it was about. But what it really is about family. And I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to for whom their family has been killed. Their Eid will never, ever be the same.
Absolutely, James, and you do such a wonderful job with your communications of actually getting those stories of children to the outside world, and really congratulations for that. Just tell us what you've seen in the past few days, because you've been also to other areas in Gaza, central Gaza, Deir al-Balah, and of course this is not your first time in these 8 months since Israel's war on Gaza started. How does it compare?
Yeah, Maria, unsurprisingly, it's much worse than when I was last year a couple of months ago. But viewers cannot turn away from this. I mean, I say unsurprisingly because, of course, 2 months further on, families' coping capacity is teetering. 2 months further on, the psychological stress of families, you know, the idea that now children look into their parents' eyes and they know their parents can't protect them, and that realization for a parent to know that they've lost the ability to protect their child from the bombs and maybe to provide enough food on the ground. I sat a few days ago at Al-Aqsa Hospital with a father whose daughter was terribly badly injured in the special operation, rescue, massacre, call it what you will, over the weekend. And he had not stopped crying over his daughter, a little 11-year-old girl. And he said he wouldn't leave her side until she woke. And then she did wake, only then for him to be told that chances were they may not be able to operate the doctors, given the shrapnel was so close to her brain. So, you know, I stand outside a hospital and a woman is in tears, simply asking for a tent, right? The way people have been reduced, the denial of aid, the denial of safety, denial of access to sufficient food and water, and then this attempted denial of dignity. Having said that, Maria, I've been back to Nasser Hospital. We have yet seen the systematic destruction of healthcare here. Nasser is now the largest partially functioning hospital. 2 months ago when I was here, it was a shell because of the ferocity of those attacks in Khan Yunis. In the last 2 months, the community, the medical staff have got it back up and running. It's full. Obviously, it's full. Every hospital here is full. But that's a testament to the resolve, the determination, the human spirit that refuses to be beaten right now. But viewers have to understand this cannot be normalised.
Absolutely.
The bombing of children, the restrictions of aid, they have to know that there is nothing normal about the constant fear of children here.
And James, I saw you mentioned on your X feed extreme heat now, just adding to those worsening conditions for children. What does that mean in practice?
In practice, it means a great threat to health, another threat to health. You know, families here are able to access showers once a week, once every 2 weeks, maybe. A minimum level of emergency water is about 15 litres per person per day. We are a fraction of that. And so now that families are, yes, it's hot in Gaza, it's always hot in Gaza, but they're in a home. They're in a home with a sea breeze or ceiling fans. Now they are side by side in tents without ventilation and on the sand. I did a reading yesterday in a tent with a thermometer. It was 55 degrees. So the health risks for children, already malnourished, already under attack from so many different areas, despite obviously being under attack from the skies, adds a very real risk to their health. Now, we can't change the heat, but of course a ceasefire, if those people who had power over the ceasefire document could understand that level of suffering, then perhaps, of course, a ceasefire would enable people to live in a condition that is not so aggressive to their health.
And just on that point of the people that have power over that ceasefire document and the role that you have, that other humanitarian agencies has of getting the voices, the story of what's happening there so closely out to the world. Is it getting through? Because you do such a fantastic job. Is it getting through, do you feel, to those people that have that power over that ceasefire document, James?
You know, your words are very generous, Maria. It is a privilege to be able to try and share the stories of people who have done the most extraordinary things to protect their children and their families. And I vacillate. I have moments of thinking that there is such an enormous potential here to make that change, and then I have moments of complete, that I feel beaten, that there is no chance right now. No, to be honest, of course not. There's no way they are listening. If anyone was truly listening and seeing that suffering, if anyone could sit as I did yesterday with a little boy, Ali, who was asleep at 5 o'clock in the morning on the 3rd floor of his family home, and then awoke in the rubble. I found his mother in the same hospital, only to tell her that Ali was okay, only for her to explain 2 more of her children had been killed in that same attack in early June. No, if those people who had the power of the pen to create a ceasefire, how could they possibly allow this level of suffering to go on for so many children and civilians?
And James, just a final question for you. You've been there nearly since the beginning, one of the first few people to go into Gaza since Israel's war started there. Just how does it impact you?
No, I mean, it impacts me because I feel that the international order is under such threat that we need to be able to ensure that Security Council resolutions and the incredible leadership of, say, the Secretary General is listened to. So it impacts me in terms of a sense of what young people today must be seeing. I get a positive sense because you see protests all around the world pushing for peace, and yet at the same time that is matched by a level of impunity. But no, on the ground, if anything, there is a sense of guilt because I know I will leave here. I have access to water. So I have an absolute sense of gratitude for what I have, and an absolute sense of anger in terms of what's being denied with people here, many of whom have, who are far cleverer than I and done far more impressive things with their lives. So for me, I simply feel a sense of responsibility to try and tell their stories, and ultimately a sense of great frustration that somehow people who are able to dismiss the suffering of children. Somehow they're unable to hold multiple contradictory thoughts at the same time, and are somehow, because of an ideological or a political viewpoint, are able to, excuse the killing of so many children and have this flawed belief that the destruction of Gaza and the killing of so many children will somehow lead to peace in the Middle East. I find that very, very frustrating, Maria.
James, good luck to you and your teams with all the fantastic work you do, and Eid Mubarak from all of us here at TRT World to all the children you see there in Gaza. Thank you so much. James Elder, UNICEF spokesperson, thank you so much.